as nursing manager.
Right.
Like my children, I talk to them, I'm like, if you want to speak the Queen's language, you speak how the Queen speaks. Chasing your goal, keep learning the language. If you see opportunities, grab them.
Right.
Don't be self-critic like me. At one point I was feeling like, oh, my skin color, maybe, nobody ever told me like because of the skin color. It was just me. I have to study this language because he really said that this is my home and definitely we'll have children there, we'll settle there, career-wise and everything. I have to start learning the language.
So today we have a great guest with us, and I'll let her introduce herself with a few rapid-fire questions. So, name?
Magdalene Awahnde.
And age?
39 plus.
39 plus. And and ever since I turned 25, I'm like, 25, 25.1, 25.2, 25.3.
Yeah.
So I completely understand. Yeah. And profession?
I'm a nursing manager.
Nursing manager. And how many years? Now we're in 2025. So far, how many years have you lived with them?
21. Yeah, 21 years.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'll just briefly tell how I found this guest, Magdalene. So we know each other from church, and I think when I was talking to Anita during the episode, she mentioned, I thought that's or then I called my mom. Even though she doesn't speak Finnish, she definitely wants to know somebody who. Yeah. And then she mentioned the name, and I think she called you or something. Yeah, she called you. And then she's like, yeah, you respected my call, so I called, and then here we are. How does Finland show up in your life story? Like, what brought you here, and how long? I mean, you already said you've been here 2 more years, but how does Finland show up in your life story?
Yeah, I came here as a student, but obviously my husband was here, so that was the reason why I came to Finland. But I came as a student, so then I came here and then started studying, and then having children, work, study, making more babies, and then just in that format or in that way.
Do you have any nicknames? What do your friends call you?
My friends at work, they call me Manda, but my friends like African community or Cameroonians, they call me Mado.
Mado?
Yeah.
Mandari Madene.
Yeah, so depending on the community.
So if somebody calls you Mado at work, no one will know who this is?
No, they won't know.
Yeah. And so I want this to be like very conversational. Tell us maybe stories as you want to. It's no limit on it. And what prompted you to learn the Finnish language? Was there a turning point or a specific need that pushed you to?
Yeah, of course there was a specific need, because when I was in Cameroon, my husband was here and we were talking about the job market and about how we'll make our life here in Finland. While I was in Cameroon, I was studying management in the university, Kopoya in Cameroon. And then he was like, okay, you do management there, and in Finland, I don't know, I've been here for a long time. My husband was here before me. By then, he was already like 8 years already in Finland. So he was telling me the job market for that in this part of the world, it's very slim. So we have to think about something else. And then he actually suggested, what about healthcare? And I was like, actually said medical field, because I did study social sciences back home. So I was like, yeah, I did study biology and all this. Maybe I can try that. So back home, I started the diploma program in nursing. I was like, okay, let me start from that base level. And I was studying back home. So I was just like kind of preparing myself how I'm going to get study place. Maybe if I have no understanding in the field, then I can have like an admission. And also already there, we were planning our family, we're planning our life, of course, as couples. So, and also like location, where are we going to settle? When people get married, we're talking about all these things. So I was like, you are my man, I'm following you wherever you are. And he's like, this is my home. I think Finland is my home.
Wow.
When I was already in Cameroon, he was telling me like, this is where I'm gonna settle.
Right.
So I just made up my mind there. So he said he was giving advice saying like, if we're gonna settle here, of course, I don't know what you want, but when immediately he said that this is my home, I said, okay, then that was just the motivation for me. I have to study this language because he already said that this is my home and definitely we'll have children there, we'll settle there, career-wise and everything. Then I have to start learning the language. So I started learning, back then there wasn't even like YouTube. There wasn't that knowledge of like you can go to YouTube and study. He will be telling me, oh, do you know how they call, for example, milk in Finnish? Like, it will be maito. When couples are discussing, they will be just chatting. He will be laughing like, I'll be like, maito. Oh my goodness, that's so weird. This language is so weird, maito. And then there's also like a very distinct one that stays in my memory till today is pima. Pima. So I don't know if it's good to say this, but in Cameroon, Cameroonians understand what I'm talking. But pima, the fermented yogurt. Yeah. So he was telling me like, do you know how we call that here in Finland? In Finnish, he was like pima, and then I was laughing. I was like, oh my goodness, it's so contrast, like with how we call it, like what it means in Cameroon. And these kind of small things, we just laugh about it. Right. But those things were, it was sticking in her brain, like, okay, this is how they say. And then it was always like, Mina Raka stance,
Okay.
So I love you. I'm like, okay. So whenever he calls, he'll be like, Mina Raka stance, and then me will be like, Mina Raka stance. Oh, so weird. But, love can make someone really, go some kind of extreme miles.
Yeah.
So I was already so in love with the language, so motivated.
Right.
And he too was motivated because he will bring it, in our charts, like, just like fun. And so I would just pick it up from there. And then, I had an admission in Finland, and then I moved to Finland.
Admission like for school or?
To study, from Cameroon.
Okay.
So I had an admission to study in Finland, and I was like, yes. So I came to Finland. When I moved here, of course, back home we did like a traditional marriage, but when I moved to Finland, this is where we did our pot marriage here in Finland. So I came here, and then I think I came here was like just how many months? I got pregnant. Before getting pregnant, immediately I came here was like, it would be nice to go to some language course. That period, I was enrolled in a language course before waiting for my study place.
Right.
So I started doing this language course, this very basic level. And I think it was in one non-governmental organization that I even had this language course that I was studying.
Right.
So it was mostly people from different backgrounds, and we were just studying. I realized I was very interested. I was really motivated because I took every opportunity. When I want to go to the grocery shopping, I will go to the cashier, and I will be like, moi, and there will be, I was young. When you're young also, I guess you are just so free. Because I came here, I was 19, and I will be like, moi, and then they'll be like, moi. I'll just cram maybe one or two. I'll learn something that I've learned the previous day, like, how much does this cost?
Yeah.
So I'll go to the shop, and I'll be like, sometimes that my grandma will be so off. One thing I really love about Finland, they don't laugh your poor grandma.
100%. Yeah.
They don't laugh because mine was, they will be like, they understand the message. They understand what you're trying to say, and they will be like, they just pick it up from like, okay, what you're trying to say. Yeah. So I guess that also did help, and I really actually didn't care, but I knew that my grandma was really off because sometimes I would mix like, when we have like, when I started my nursing program and I was doing my practice placement, sometimes during our practice placements, I had the first practice placement in the hospital, and sometimes the clients, the patients would be like, I would be like, I remember there was this particular incident that a patient's wife, she asked me if I could bring this kukama yako, for her. I think she brought flowers to her husband. She asked if I could breathe. She said, "What I anda tuoda kukka maaliakko?" And then I was like, "Oh, kukka maaliakko." And I said, "Yeah, I think I've heard this word." And then I went to my to my supervisor. Yeah. I said, the patient's wife says she wants kapku. I was so confident, and she was like, "Why does she? She doesn't? How would she ask for kapku?" Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, she said kapku." And then I came there.
And just for context, for people who don't speak Finnish,
yeah,
so kukkamoliakko is like a flower vase, and then kakku is cake.
Yeah, so
I completely mixed them up.
I completely mixed them up, and I was so confident. I was like, and then my supervisor was like, "But that would be really weird that she's asking for cake. Like, why? Because this patient can't even, like, has swallowing problems. And why would she be asking for cake?"
Yeah. And
then she came, and then she was like, "Oh, did you ask for something?" And then this lady repeated "kukkamania," and I was like, "Okay, it's not a cake. She's asking for a flower vase." That day I learned the difference between a flower vase and a cake. And I was like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah, that's
so yeah. So this kind of day-to-day things, and then those kind of mistakes you make, then the words they just stick in your brain.
Better place, everyone.
Yeah.
So during the phase when you guys were long distance, so he was mentioning Finnish words to you and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was like,
"Hey, the game is the game. The game is the game."
Yeah.
That's so. Yours is kind of unique in the people I've talked to because you just had the natural excitement towards the language.
Yeah.
For most people, it's like, okay, I am here. This is the mission. It's a task that I have to do. It's take 10,000 steps. I'll do the 10,000 steps. But for you, you were actually like, no, like I really want to do this.
Yeah.
We're excited about it. Yeah. This is kind of rare from the things that I've experienced so far.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's really interesting. Yeah. So in your story so far, I'm just trying to get the like kind of timeline kind of 40. Initially, you came with the education, although you had a partner, you were dating somebody who was here, and then studied and started working. Point. So in which year? What's the year? What was the studies? And the year also before that was that Finnish course before you got the admission. So from year 1 to year, what was the Finnish course?
That was 2000. I moved to Finland in 2004.
Right.
Yeah. And from 2004, I studied the Finnish course. It was about 3-4 months.
Okay.
And I was pregnant, and I started having pregnancies too. I couldn't conceive going to school.
Right.
In these like day-to-day things, I was just trying to speak. And I had also like some Finnish friends that I met in a neighborhood. We were living actually then in a student apartment. Okay. So I had some Finnish friends around, and sometimes we'll meet, we'll chat, I'll tell her, like, I want to learn the language. We'll be talking about different things, about where I'm coming from, where she's coming from, cultural differences. And I'll be asking, like, what does this mean in Finnish? How do you say this in Finnish? How do you do this and how do you do that? So, yeah. But also, when I started studying, after I had my baby, then I started this nursing program in Laura University of Applied Sciences. That was in 2005.
Okay.
So 2006, yeah. So 2006, I started a nursing program in Laura. So in our class, it was an international program. It was in English.
Right.
So I had really motivated group of immigrants in my class because we're also young. Yeah. I guess I don't know if the age has something to do. This group of it was really special because when I look now, I hear people's stories. I don't really see this kind of things. Our class, when we were studying, we had this motivation that we want to climb our career ladder.
Right.
We knew that, okay, yes, we have to go through the basics, but we had this vision.
Right.
I had my classmates that they were like, they want to actually be doctors.
Okay.
And so we were already told that it's one of the, in Finland, you have to learn the language. So we had a vision that we want to go there, and we knew what it takes, at least from those who were around us, who were advising us, our teachers, our mentors, my husband, were saying, you have to learn the language, and it's not just, this basic level. As you go higher, you need more.
Right.
You have to go deeper. And so I remember in the cafeteria, we would just meet there. This group of Gabonese would be like, moi, mitakulu, moi. And it was just so natural between us. We'll be switching between pidgin English, Finnish, and English, and our grammar was, it was off, but we're just speaking and.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas I think, but this again differs from the kind of stories I've heard. Usually I've heard it's an individual journey kind of thing. But it seems like you had people who were also on the same come up kind of way. We're trying to improve their level of Finnish. Not just people you meet in a course and then you never meet them again, but like who are your friends. And
And immediately we just connected because your circle also matters.
100%.
We just realized that we are kind of like, we have this same, goals, and we just was just naturally connecting with that, and we were telling ourselves that they had the same vision, like, okay, they want to study here, they want to go higher, and they want to stay in Finland. So we're gonna learn the language. So and to be honest, all of these things that I'm calling you today, they are all doing well in Finland.
Right.
They are doing very well. They have various professions.
Great.
And in the language. So it's something that I'm really grateful also that they too have, at least attain some level of where they want to be. Yeah.
In Finland, like socio-economic kind of thing, unless you get lucky in your field and you don't have to learn Finnish, it's almost like to get up, you need the language. For me, I'm a software developer, but the first company I was working at, I just looked around like, okay, in year one, I was just kind of looking around like, okay, who are the people who are above me? What is common amongst them?
Yeah.
They all speak Finnish. But then also I had come to understand that career-wise, a lot of things is not about just what you know how to do, but also who you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I want to get to know these people, but I don't speak Polish, and they're not comfortable speaking English with me. So how do I change that?
Yeah.
They're not gonna learn English for me.
No.
So, and I live here, so so this is a very good point. But getting to med school, for example, is like crazy hard. Were any of them able to actually do that?
No, none of them were able to get there, but they have their own companies now, and they
that's also like tasking thing and a very rewarding thing. Finland has this. Don't quote me on this, but what I read was Finland has this artificial cap on how many people are allowed to become doctors through Finnish education system. So if you want to bypass that, you have to go do it abroad. I think they do that so that they can, don't quote me on this, so that they can keep their salaries. But if there's too many doctors, then...
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But if you want to bypass that, you just do it abroad, and then leave the country, and then you come back to Finland. But okay, so all for 3 or 4 months of language course, then Laurea 2006 started studying.
Yeah, so 2009, 2006, 2009, I studied my bachelor's degree, and we had, of course, during the nursing program, they have this Finnish language course in the program that you are taught, mandatory courses that we took there. Have this basic, intermediate, and then advanced level that we were studying hand in hand while studying the program.
Right.
So I did learn also through that.
Right. By the time you graduated, how well would you say you spoke Finnish?
It was still not good.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't still that strong, but I was managing that. I'm able to maybe like work not so confidently in my field. I could work like I could manage. Let me use that way. I could manage when I graduated. My practical placements, they had a major role to do in my learning of Finnish language, especially in my field of studies.
Right.
The vocabulary, the medical vocabularies that you need in the field. Those, I think I learned them more during my practice placements years. So we had these practice placements. It's not like today that it's very easy even for international students to get practice placements. Then it was really, really difficult to get a practice placement as an international student because it wasn't a thing that, it was like new to them that international students are coming to do practice in Finland. So there wasn't like supervisors that are ready to take that task because you are like supervising a student who has zero language skills.
Yeah.
So it was like a big thing for them. We used to apply. You apply so many places, and there will be always like a turn down.
Yeah.
We will do it through Jobili, but it wasn't so easy also to get it through Jobili because the language thing, international students. Yeah. But I had this opportunity through my first practice placement in an elderly home. So we have it all usually like the first practice placement for all nursing students. You have to go, like you study the basics of nursing.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the first practice placement I had there. And when I was there, I already had, I had a target. I had a vision. Before I was going for that practice placement with an intention that I must land a summer job. It was so tight there financially also. So I was like, okay, I don't want to do the other unskilled jobs like maybe cleaning. Even if I get a job as a cleaner in this field of studies that I'm studying, that will help me also to learn the language. So I had a target that I want a job there, but I didn't put myself like I must work as a nursing, registered nurse student. When I went there, my Finnish was 0. I remember the clients would talk to me and I would just be like, non-verbal communication. all my bragging with my friends in school, everything just disappeared.
I still hear it.
The class will be touching to me and I'll be like, I'll just be smiling and they'll be asking me questions and I'll just be smiling like, I'll just be like, yo. And then my supervisor, oh my goodness.
Hey, but you were at least smiling. I remember when I first got my first 2017, I got this job as a cashier.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to just really write down what are the most common things I would end up having to say.
Yeah.
And memorizing them to say it. And if somebody said something to me that was not according to my script,
out of it.
It's above me now. Yeah. And you could see me looking physically straight. Yeah, it was real bad.
Finnish language is not easy, to be honest. It's not an easy language, but I resonate a lot with that because during those days, but I love singing. I sing a lot. I remember when I would go for practice placements, I would just be singing for the clients. I'll be doing everything my supervisor tells me to do. We'll go all with the medication room, check out everything. And then during my like time now to interact with the clients, because I can't speak, I'll just, maybe I'll meet a client who is just sitting there and maybe a bit depressed. And then I just start singing. I think that was what caught the heart of the lady. I remember at the end of that practice placement, my supervisor wrote everything that good, but clearly language that I have to develop on my language skills. Yeah. And I was like, oh my goodness, my mission has been aborted. I was thinking that I'm gonna get a job here. Yeah. Now this is like, okay, no what area. I'm not gonna get this job. My language is not enough. But that was the first year, my first year when I was studying the nursing program. Then I met the manager. So I would like to have a summer job here. She was like, what do you want? I said, anything. And she's like, but your language is not enough. I said, yeah, it's not enough, but I have the motivation to learn. She said, yeah, I have seen that. And I've had feedbacks from the staffs that you're very friendly, you're smiling all the time, you interact, you're empathetic with the clients, and that your non-verbal communications are obvious, that they are really like you can be with the clients.
Yeah.
So I got my first job as a they call it to Apple line.
Okay.
As like
care assistant.
Care assistant. Oh my! I was over the moon. I was so happy. I was so happy. And I remember that time we came back, because usually when students come back from practice placements, everybody will be sharing their experience. So I remember my classmates, especially the Finnish ones, because we have things in our class, they would be like, "Oh, I got a job as a registered married student," and then I was like, and then my teacher was asking, like, did any of you were able to get? And I was like, yeah, I got it as a nurse, as a care assistant. And I remember my immigrant friends, they were just laughing. They were like, oh my God, seriously? And I was so happy. And they were like, man, but you know, this is a big step for you.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I worked that summer there. But that summer, it helped me a lot, because I had a pen and a paper. Although I was a care assistant, I was basically like in the kitchen, washing dishes and reading maybe newsletter for the clients. Be writing, like those things, the languages that I think, you know, things that I don't understand or things that I've learned new. When the clients will be saying this, I'll write that. That helped me during my second practice placement. It helped me a lot. Those kind of small steps and just being actively involved.
This is actually very unique from the other things that I've kind of heard. So this is all during the like between 06 and 09, I suppose.
Yeah.
Your price been. So this is what year 2 to year 5. 2 to year 5. Okay. At what point do you feel like you reached like that higher B level or C level?
That was actually about I would say like about 2 or 3 years after graduation.
Already?
Yeah.
Wow.
About 2 or 3 years.
But
3 years after graduation, because I was actively working in the nursing field, and I was challenging myself because I worked in the hospitals. I was taking more challenging roles. I landed my first job as a registered nurse in a stroke ward hospital. Clients, they come for, maybe they have some neurological stroke, they had a stroke, and they are coming from the operating room, and then they come to our ward for rehabilitation. And then after we kind of discharge them. So there was this writing part. So it was not only about the speaking, but also there was the writing. You have to write a quarterly report or end of report of the client's health state, and then you report it to wherever he or she is going. If it's going home, you give with him or her the report, or if it's going to a next place for care, then you have to write this report. So it's like a formal writing. I think they helped me a lot, because I improved. I had to put in more work, more self-study, put in the effort and learning, going online. That time I was really like into books and trying to really understand the grammar.
I think when I did my thing in 2022, where I was like, this year, this is my main thing. That's pretty much all we're going to do. Writing was the thing that I did the least of. And I kind of regret that, because when I started doing it, I was like, wow, I really should have started this a bit earlier. It was I felt quite lazy with it, because it was quite a bit of overload generally. Just like, okay, I'm speaking Finnish with everyone, which is a lot of mental effort and stuff like that. So every time it was like moments of weakness, but it really helped you develop the writing. Because if you're writing, you can just say it.
Yes.
But then when you're writing, you're forced to be more deliberate of what you are putting down.
In my field, we don't have a choice, especially in those more challenging areas where you don't have a choice. Even in other sectors where the class is being discharged, you have to write. It's formal writing.
Yeah. So through like your learning journey, so let's say in your case was from year 1 to year 8, where it was like when you reached that, where it's like, okay, going forward, this is gonna improve itself because you've already reached like high D or C level, and but you walk me through the learning journey. What worked and what didn't?
What worked was that self-motivation. That was it. I was really motivated. It helped me a lot. And also I have a lot of Finnish friends. So we had also this like free time, after work.
Yeah.
We hang out and we speak in Finnish.
Yeah.
We communicate in Finnish. And what didn't work, I would say, like in terms of me learning the language.
I should reveal that there's like so many methods of going about it, right? Then some things work for you, some don't work for you. One person I recently talked to was like, going to class did not really help her because, well, two people said that. One said they would end up coming late to the class because of their work. So they always miss the first half hour and they would never get the opportunity to go through the homework. So going to classes in that regard didn't help her. Then another person was like, she wanted to really fast track it. So the people she was with in the class, even though that was her level, they were not moving fast enough. So, for example, any method that you know that people have tried or that you tried that didn't really work for you. Yeah.
I think our journey, I would say everything that I went through, how I went through my journey in learning Finnish language, and I'm still learning. I've not arrived.
Right.
So I don't know, you said B or C or I don't know, I don't remember those the category,
Yeah.
what it entails, but I've not arrived because I'm still learning. Even now in the peak my career ladder, I would say everything that I went, how my journey through every step, it helped me because I had a vision. I was 100% motivated for the language. There was one point in our life, especially with my husband, that my husband wasn't getting the job he wanted here in his field of studies. He was like, I don't want to do these meter jobs. I want to work where I actually can give back more, where I studied in my field of studies. So he wasn't getting, I think he applied for over 4,000 applications and he was always getting valued. And he was like, no, I cannot be doing this cleaning job anymore. He had a cleaning company, but he felt like he could give more, So we were like, he said, okay, he want to try somewhere else. So we moved to US.
Right.
We moved to Texas in Houston. And thank God we were there for just about 4 months. And then my husband now had a call from one of the companies that he applied.
Yeah.
And he had an interview online and he landed the job. This is just God's grace because he landed that job. Usually when they give you a job, they'll give you maybe a permanent, is it like a Mara Aitainen, like temporal?
Yeah.
But he had a permanent position straight away. He had it straight away.
Okay.
And it was like, he was like, is this for real? Like he had to I want to really sign this paper physically. I want to really see this paper to believe it. During that period, I think that was we were away from, should I say that didn't help me because we were away and I was also thinking about it. You have to study there with the children and everything, going through the NCLEX exams in the US. I wasn't so comfortable.
Is that the thing for nursing?
Yes, to the American system. So I was like, my husband, he's the head of the family. We have a traditional home. He's the head of the family in that sense, being the spiritual head. I also want him to be comfortable in his job. I was comfortable in my field. I had a vision, but I realized what we planned in the beginning, that this is going to be our home. It wasn't really that time he thought it would be, but now he was like, maybe it's not really working for me because I think it can be much more better. We were there. Yeah, that didn't work for me. And then I came back.
Right.
So we came back. Also, other factors, our own personal values, especially concerning the American way of life and what we want as a family. I think we will get better living in Finland than there is of course the income there is better, but so we moved back here. That period that I was away, I realized that my Finnish also it went down. So but I came back and my job was still there. Thank God I didn't quit. I just told them I need Loma.
Right.
I just need to do a lot more. So I came back and I was able to start again. But I realized that, yeah, when you don't use a language, especially a language that is not your mother tongue, you start forgetting and you realize, like, you know, when I'll be talking, I'll be like, what was this? What was this? Like basic things, I'll be like, okay.
And I noticed that with my little sister, because she was born here, and when she was like 3, 4, she spoke fluent.
Yeah.
And then she moved to Ghana. And boom, does not remember a single thing now.
Yeah.
She's like 19 and doesn't remember a thing in Finnish right now.
Yeah, when you don't use a language,
It just the
also that
yeah.
so it's important the speaking is also very important as much as the learning, the theoretical, the one.
What resources did you use, and then were there any that surprised you how useful they are, or maybe how useless they are?
Yeah, I had online. I was studying online, Finnish language online. And I don't remember which, like particular, but I know I was doing it on mine.
Okay.
But it was not from YouTube.
Okay. I mean, YouTube had barely anything.
Yeah. It was not from YouTube.
Yeah.
Those days we had other resources that we were using. I don't remember now. Some of them were like, I was like, okay, maybe this is too complex. There were some that were like maybe too complex for my level that time. So I wasn't really like understanding, like, you know, that. But I was speaking some few things, especially like the grammar.
Yeah. So online, was it like articles or videos or movies?
There were movies, but there were also like Finnish language courses.
Okay. Specifically that's for online.
For online, Finnish language courses online. Yeah.
Was it like Yle stuff or some other? You rather remember.
I don't remember.
For context, for those who don't know, Yle is Finland's national broadcasting corporation. Yeah. And then
But yeah, movies, and then I was also watching like the Finnish national television. So that was also something I was watching. I think I fell in love with this
oh yeah,
you know,
it's a it's a English show with Finnish subtitles.
Yes, with Finnish
I think
subtitles.
The Bold and Beautiful.
Bold and Beautiful.
Yeah, that's what it's
in those days.
Yeah, that's
It's been a long time I've not watched that. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're still showing that.
Isn't that one of those TV shows that have been around for like 30 years?
Oh
Like,
my!
yeah,
So it's like still
I think it's one of those TV shows that's born for them.
So one of my favorite TV shows always had the subtitles there.
Sometimes it's such a underrated, I think,
Method of learning.
because you're enjoying what you're watching, and then you're kind of just using a bit of your brain to just add learning to it. Right. What about, you also mentioned that you had a notebook with you when you were the care assistant, where you just write things down when you were telling. So that's just one of the methods. And then, and also, how did you practice writing? Because you ended up having to be writing a lot. So before you got to the stage of having to write a lot, how did you practice the writing?
In the nursing field comes naturally.
This with assignments from school and stuff like that.
It comes naturally, the writing part in school and the practice placements.
Okay.
Because you have to write how your clients, your patients is doing and all that. Not today that we have more advanced documentation systems that we just click and you just click like, you know, clients' vitals.
Yeah.
If it's okay, you just click. Everything just comes there automatically. Like, you know, depending on how the client is feeling.
Pre-filled.
Yeah, just like, so you just select, you just like, oh, maybe the client's symptoms, is he or she having running stomach, is he having, you know, there's everything. Nowadays, we have this kind of, you know, about things are already like automated there.
Right.
So I don't think if for someone who want to study Finnish, the documentation system nowadays don't help. But also there is also part that you still have to write like freely.
Yeah.
But for someone who doesn't know Finnish, and maybe you really don't have that motivation to learn, you would go
you preferably go to the automated ones like, okay, the client is okay, or the client is not okay, or he has temperature, or this, or the patient, or whatever.
Right.
So you will go with that. But also you can write more elaborately about a particular scenario or whatever that is going on with the patients. But yeah, then we had to write like elaborately in the computer, yes, and especially with the quarterly reports or even daily reports. My word was that kind of a word that if you needed, that it was a rehab. One of the words that it helped me also a lot with the writing was a rehabilitation word that I was working. So we had there was active writing there because we have to do evaluation of the client's state. What's the situation? We do sometimes home tours, or is it home checks to check if the client is suitable or the patient is suitable to go back home. What's the condition of the home? So as a nurse, you are the advocate in the middle of this multi-professional team. You have to talk with the physiotherapist and this, and then now you have to write your report in base of this and that. You have to write all these things down. So in a rehabilitation work, it helped me a lot because I remember when I got that job, I was somehow nervous, would I be able to? But I saw it as a challenge that I knew where I was going, and I thought this is something that will help me in my career path.
Right.
So, and then there was elaborate talking also because we had these multidisciplinary team meetings frequently for the clients to do different kinds of evaluations and So
what observations have you made about, you're not in people's heads, so from when you see other people learning Finnish, what observations have you made about other people learning Finnish?
I think one is the fear to be embarrassed, the fear to make mistakes, and also nowadays things have changed a lot, especially immigrants or migrants in Finland. There are lots of opportunities. If you really don't have a vision, like you want to do you want to climb on your career ladder or whatever, you can get a job in without usually speaking. You can pick up a job that can help you with your daily survival without you speaking Finnish.
Right.
So those are some of the observations that things have changed nowadays. The job market, is not as small as it was. Now the job market is much broader.
Right. I think it's still broader, but I would say it's still small.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is one of my issues with Finland as well, where I know a lot of talented people who, because they don't speak Finnish, the system kind of does not select them. There's a guy who was studying computer science with me. He had done a medical degree, but he was not interested in that anymore. So clearly, the brain capacity exists. And then you were in the same class, and I remember being on a project with him, and this guy, you could tell, he's very sharp. After graduating, struggled to get a job, eventually found something. Then again, something happened, struggling to get a job, all because of the language. And then one of my friends as well, really sharp guy, incredibly interested in that specific part of geoinformatics, also can't find job because of the languages. I have zero doubt that this was a lot worse back then. But yeah, it's gone.
But the percentage is
it's still bad, but it definitely
better than in those days, I guess. Yeah. So now maybe a bit more better opportunities.
Yeah.
What I've also observed with people, especially in my communities, is most people come here and feel like, oh, I'm just here for maybe 2 years, and I can't live in this country. This cold country, this dark country, so boring. They have no life. The language is so difficult. No. It's just 2-3 years. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And before you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years, and they are still there doing that.
Yeah. Finland has a way of just keeping you, because if you manage to be your life remotely working, Finland will keep you here because things work. that's why they always keep winning this happiest country in the world. Things work, and you have to be an independent person because everything else works in your life. One element that I really, really love is public transport.
Yeah.
I no need to own a car. I've done my driver's license. I came to Finland. I didn't drive for a long time, so I forgot how to drive. So I had to do it again.
Yeah.
I did it again. I got it to last year or 2 years ago. Still haven't driven since. And now every now and then comes up when I'm supposed to maybe go on a date with somebody, and then they're like, should I pick them up? But I'm like, I've never had a need for a car. I don't.
So you don't need.
I don't need a car. Like I don't own a car because I don't need a car. In the capital, it works way too well for me to own a car.
It's functional. I mean, we can rely on the public transport. Like, the things are really, basic things are fine here. So
Very well done. Yeah. Is it?
so
Everything, all the life essentials work really well.
yeah.
So the fear of embarrassment and making mistakes, then the whole thing about I'm just gonna be. Actually, with my parents, this is a very good point. My parents are a great example. They were like, we're all gonna be here. They started advising everyone to learn Finnish, but for the same reason, like, hey, we thought we're only gonna be here a few years, and then they end up being here 20 plus years. And I guess my reason for doing this podcast is that if I was their friend back then, what advice would I have given them? That's why I'm doing this podcast, because it's a way of explaining to people that, hey, you probably should do this, because the body of evidence is that a lot of people don't think they're going to be here long, but they end up being here very long. So,
And it's a plus, even if you're not going to be here for long, it is a plus you learning the language, because it will also help you for the time that you're here. You will have maybe a bit more better standard, I don't know, whatever it is, you will be of living, it will be much more better for you, even if you're not going to stay. So that's why I don't get it, like, you don't want to learn the language, you're saying you're not going to be here, so you prefer, just living this how they call, this, was it fast or whatever, like this life, like someone who is it like a missionary or what? Like someone who's just passing.
Just passing through.
You're just passing through. And no, it doesn't make sense. I don't see the good in that for you. If I should be in here, at the end of the day, you end up being in 10 years, 15 and 20.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry. So it is like a quite difficult kind of thing to achieve. So one thing I've realized with that is you have to set up systems in your life that help you to work toward the goal rather than not work toward the goal. What are some passive things that you did that have already been set up or happened to be in a certain way in your life that helped you to learn first? For example, because of the work you were doing, you were naturally obliged to write. So that helped. Things like that, or things that just happened to be a certain way, which you feel helped you move along.
Yeah, also with my kids, all of them were born here. Day-to-day life with the kids. They are going to school here. We have parents-teachers meetings in Finnish. We have to attend the meetings. We have to help our children to study in Finnish language. We have to read messages from Wilmark where the teachers are sending texts about how the children are doing in school or whatever program or whatever, plans they have. Those are things that I think they also played a very crucial part with the language. And I feel like someone who has maybe children, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like someone who has children, you have a bigger, need or opportunity to learn the language, if only you want.
Right.
Yeah. And especially if your kids are studying in Finnish, you have to be involved. We can't be passive in children's education. Exactly. That's something that is very core in our family, that we are very active in everything that concerns them. Of course, like every parent should be, also in school. So we don't shy away. Every parents teachers meeting, I am there. And my husband is also there. But sometimes he's not able to be there because of his job also. So I call it, somebody must be there. It shouldn't be like, that if one cannot make it, then the other one too cannot make it, maybe because they don't speak the language. Well, yeah, and yes, they were the beginning years. Sometimes I'll be like at meetings. I don't understand everything. but I'll be there. And I try to always contribution, because we had all this like raising funds, children when they go through funds for maybe some different kind of activities, and I'll be participating. Sometimes I'm there selling Cameroonian puff, or I'm doing braiding hair outside to raise money. Also in their hobbies, they meet parents there, we chat and all that. So those things, they help a lot.
Right.
I know some immigrants also, they shy away, especially with the children's school stuff because of the language. So I'm asking myself, why should you be involved? Even if you don't speak, maybe you can communicate in English, but it helps a lot in also learning the language.
My parents got a bit lucky with the education thing because mine was all in English. That was also why it took me so long to get into Finnish. I've come to maybe this kind of realization where I've seen this graphic online where it's like when you want your kids to read, you don't tell them to read more while you're scrolling on the phone. They also do that.
Yeah, so, got me for you.
Yeah. And so I don't know why, but for the longest time I had this kind of like, I don't need to learn this. I can do everything in English. And then I grew up and then I realized, oh, this is starting to affect my pockets. And I like money.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had to do the what it takes to improve. But yeah. So basically, in your case, the passive things were that basically that the sense of the kids in your life and their education, all of that helped with accelerating your journey, and also your work also helped.
Yeah.
Accelerate the journey as well. Okay. And what about the active things that you did? Like, do you have a study routine, speaking habit, etc.? Things that you actively set up in a certain way, or you chose like, okay, I'm doing this in this way.
We had this thing we had it, yes, with my friends then in school, this group of friends, we had this thing like, every day we must learn one Finnish word.
Okay.
Every day. And we were young and carefree. Some people will see it a little bit like maybe show off, but young people, will come to class and will be like, what have you learned today? Like, we'll be doing those kind of things. These were really active things, but it helped. Even when after school, everybody went their own way, It helped me. I was actively, every day, I have to learn one word, one new word every day in my free time or during work. Some days I'm not able to, some days I'm not, but it was very conscious. It was a conscious thing. And also how to use the language, because there's a big difference with the spoken language and the written language. Understanding those different slangs. When you're working, especially in a customer service or you're dealing with patients in this kind of public, you have to understand slangs. Because there are different slangs in Finland. In Finland that you get to learn these things when you start interacting with people. So I was also like, okay, that's how they speak this. But I was just trying to learn every day and something new. Those that are not even related to my field of studies, just social stuff, or personal stuffs.
And you also mentioned that you would go to the store and you had the habit of speaking to, you said whenever you go to the store, try and speak it. And you also, with your Finnish friends, you were telling things like cultural differences, stuff like that. But were these things that you did on like a daily basis?
I won't say like daily basis, because I didn't meet all the time my Finnish friends, but it was whenever we meet actively. But daily basis, I would say maybe that time with the television programs, the soft subtitles.
Right. Okay. And what conscious changes did you make in your life that made it easier to practice than to not practice?
I think it was my circle.
Right. Okay. The school friends, the immigrant friends.
Yeah, the Finnish friends that I also had. It was something that I did intentionally. Yes. Well, not like, of course, we had a chemistry. It's not like I just make anybody.
You just force them like.
No, I had really good people that we had really good, we met through really good different instances. But we became very good close friends, and we were speaking in Finnish. I would say kudos to them. I remember those days.
My Finnish was off. Man, they will be speaking and they didn't really care. We would just be talking and we'll be laughing.
Yeah. I think that's a very, like, almost universal Finnish trait. Just like, they're very kind when it comes to that.
Gracious.
That's a very good term. I remember when, in my situation, in 2022, I was like, if anybody speaks Finnish, we're only speaking Finnish. This is the part where you have to have some kind of grit, or you're willing to impose your will on the world so that it works for you. I had a few friends who, when I'm talking to them, you know, instead of my story taking 30 seconds, it'll take maybe 4 or 5 minutes, right? And then I had a friend who was trying to rush me through the story, and then he's not culturally Finnish. He was trying to rush me through the story, like, just say it in English. I'm like, and then I just like stare him dead in the eye. They're just like, no, we're doing this, and if you don't want to listen, that's too bad. But you're doing this in Finnish, so it's like you had to be stubborn about it, and yeah. But I've realized also like that integration is a huge factor. A lot of people from different countries, when they come here, they just stick to people from their country. They only spend time with people from their country, and then only watch television things. Oh, because now we have a YouTube and that. So they don't watch Finnish TV. They'll just watch things from their country or things that they're comfortable watching, or Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
And it really affects negatively how you're living to learn. How do you use, I mean, you mentioned that you have Finnish friends, but how have you integrated yourself into Finland?
Well, by studying the language, I also love the culture. I love nature. Maybe because this is my first country that I came. I came here very young, so I had all my young experiences, those things, we're going out and all that. I did it all here in Finland. Finland is home to me, and like I said, it was that conscious decision, and I think it's much more solid because my husband is here. When you get married to someone, it's like, this is it. This is the somebody that I want to spend the rest of my life with. I came in with everything. Like, I placed everything on the table. Like, okay, where you go, I go. And my mind was there. So it just flowed. Even coming to a different country and learning the language, integrating into the country and all that. Yeah.
So you just had a natural affinity for, and then also you kind of made Finnish friends who were not necessarily in your culture as well.
Yeah.
And even those who were from your culture, they were also eager to learn. The language as well. So yeah. Right. From your experience, when people don't succeed at learning Finnish, what would you say is usually what would you estimate what's usually the reason for?
Firstly, not everybody is gifted in languages. I think I'm a language person. I speak different languages. I speak a bit of French, English, and a bit of Finnish and Pidgin English, and a little bit of Spanish, Italy. Yeah. So wherever I go, I'm already curious with the language.
Yeah.
So language is also language learning is something that is not for everybody. Not everybody has that immediate motivation to learn a different language. Also, maybe age has a big role to play.
Right.
Because when you are in your 50s or you are in your late 40s, maybe you're not really motivated anymore. Secondly, maybe there isn't enough motivation for you. Mostly people are motivated when they see the job market. Maybe you know that, okay, I don't have a job market in this country or this, and there isn't that motivation. Or you've tried to apply because you have to be given also the opportunity, especially in the professional field. You have to be given opportunity to learn.
Right.
And everybody must start from somewhere. So you have to be given also at least have an access to that field. So if you don't even if you don't have access to the field, so that's also a problem. But it also depends on how high your expectations are, because in every field you can start from somewhere. Even if you're a PhD holder, you are an expert. Yes, you're an expert in this field, and because of the language, they tell you that maybe you could start at this level. I think it is advisable to take it.
You shouldn't just shift it. I am an expert and these people are giving me peanuts.
Right.
It could lead to something, because what I've learned to the Finnish culture is this trust. They want to know who they are dealing with. If already they know that you have the professional knowledge, are you able to do this job in this the Finnish your Finnish proficiency? So that's also something that I know this could be. It's not for everybody, but that's the bar. You shouldn't put the bar, like, it is good to have visions and goals and all that, but you can start from somewhere, especially when your language is not up to that level. You should be able to give yourself grace, that yes, I will also take jobs that are maybe lower than my qualifications in that same field.
Right.
So yeah, that's one. Also, what will make people not learn the language? Also, like what I already mentioned, people thinking that they're just passing by in Finland. You're thinking that, okay, this is not my home, this is not where I want to settle. I'm just passing by. There's no need for me to learn the language. And then you start counting, how many million people are in Finland? Finland is a small place. Why should I learn this very difficult language with just 5 million? What do I do with this? I should go to Canada. I should go to US, where,
Fair point. Yeah. There was a lot that with Pakistani, but he lived in the UK. So he grew up in the UK. I met him in a Finnish course, and he spoke Finnish on a level that I was like, there's no way you speak almost as well as I do. And at that point, he had only been in Finland for like 3 months. For the 6 months before he came, every journey to work, when he was a doctor, journey to work, he was always listening to Finnish podcast.
Yeah.
And so he just picked up to, I'm like, yeah, that's...
The motivation was really high.
Yeah.
You have to be motivated. You have to do it yourself. Nobody is gonna. I also forgot to mention that radio. I was listening to a lot of that radio stations.
I'll actually go through the different parts of the language learning one by one, so maybe help you kind of remember. I think the question now is, what did you do that others don't?
I think I was intentional. Everybody's intentional after learning the language.
Yes. Yeah. So, if there are like 6 parts to learning the language, at least from my little research: vocabulary, speaking, listening, grammar, reading, and writing. Let's just quickly go through how you improve each of them. How did you work on vocabulary?
The vocabulary was just about learning these languages, like new word every day, and trying to understand the grammar. I studied that one, online through those courses. When communicating with patients and also when talking with my friends, I learned that one. Of course, during the language course that I had also, it helped with the vocabulary. Learning one word every day helps a lot. Just using the language wherever you have an opportunity. Basic things in the bus, or you're going to take a bus, or in the grocery store.
Right. In terms of like getting new words that you don't know, so you had the like at least one new word every day. But did you whenever you were talking to somebody, you heard a new word? Would you like write it down to study later, or books or?
Yes, I was writing some of them down, not all, but I was writing some of them down, and especially ones that I really like. They catch my interest. I'll be writing, but most of the time I write things that, in my understanding, I think I'm writing correct. But when I will go now to research about that language, I realize I didn't write it correct. Because you can hear and think you're writing it correctly, but then later I realized the spelling wasn't all right.
Okay. Yeah. And when you were getting the new words, were you memorizing them, or how were you making sure they stick?
Yeah, memorizing them. I was doing a lot of memorizing, to be honest. I think that was also one thing that, especially in my field, I was doing a lot of memorizing, because there are some things that I was using every day. There were some specific words that I was using every day.
Right.
Vital signs and all that. So I was memorizing, but also I was learning, like, okay, how can I this, maybe in the grammar, how can I use this in the past tense, present tense, those kind of
Right. Well, and then number 2 is speaking. Did you get like the volume of speaking in, or?
Just using it, the volume, you get it by interacting with people from different topics,
Yeah.
trying to get yourself acquainted, exposing yourself to different topics.
Right.
So it helps also with the vocabulary volume. If you're always talking about cooking, if you're around cooks all the time, then you'll be limited in that sector. But now, like with my friends, we'll be talking about cultural things, stuff in Cameroon, how we do it in Finland, and then I have other friends that maybe we'll be talking about studies, those kind of things. So just different topics, and just try to learn those different vocabularies in those different fields.
Right. Right. And like in your case as well, I think you, again, with the friends from school you were speaking, and then also with your Finnish friends, you said you were speaking as well. And then naturally at work,
Yeah.
you were just speaking with the clients, the patients as well. And then and of course you mentioned radio. Yeah.
I was listening to radio on my way.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know, was it podcast? It was radio.
Podcast was not
No,
a thing
no,
so much
no.
back then. Yeah.
It was radio. I remember I used to listen to this, is it Yle? Something, there was this Finnish news that I liked listening in the morning on my way to work or my way to school.
Okay.
And then also there was this like music station that they were playing Finnish music.
Yeah.
And then they'll be talking about, okay, so there was a weather for today and
Yeah.
blah, 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 and, you know, those kind of things. So, yeah, that was also helping. And it was quite interesting. It was also sometimes accompanying me on my way to work. You're being informed about what's happening in the country. I realized that I was understanding what they're saying. And then from there, how they speak, when you're listening, how they speak, you also mimic. You also learn that they speak in this certain way. You start also speaking in that certain way. Like the nationals,
Yeah.
they have a way that they speak, they have a way that they pronounce words, they said a tone, a voice tone, how this, you know, those all this, I don't know how they say it in English, but you mimic those things.
And then with listening comprehension, how did you go about improving that one?
It was just being quiet. I think I was more observed. Like when you're listening, you have to be quiet, you observe a lot. I was doing a lot of observation in the beginning. I was reflecting, I was absorbing and learning everything, like how they speak it,
Yeah.
you know, how the tenses and all these things. So you have to, when the listening, you have to really you have to observe, you have to, everybody, maybe others, they have their way. Like my children, I talk to them, I'm like, if you want to speak the Queen's language, you speak how the Queen speaks it. When you want to speak it that way, there is an accent. If you really want to speak the Queen's language, that's how language is. Yes, you can speak it in a way that somebody will understand, but if you want to really speak like the people who have the nationals, you have to learn how they do it. You listen, you observe, you know, you mimic. All these things, they are part of it.
Right. And also I'm guessing naturally you're listening to the radio, so it helps with that. And then from your speaking interactions as well, you're listening in engaging with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about with grammar? How did you go about improving grammar? Because I think we haven't spoken much about.
Grammar is something that I'm still improving today.
Right. Right.
Grammar, Finnish grammar,
Yeah.
that's another level, to be honest. But that one, you have to learn it. You have to actively look on courses. I took courses later when I also climbed my career ladder. I had to take courses like to really learn the grammar,
Okay.
especially in informal meetings. We had board meetings and all that. Most of the times I'm representing my department in some kind of regional meeting with other manager or even like superintendents. So I think maybe my personality, I like to be excellent.
Yeah.
So things they don't really care. But in that kind of format, you're in a formal setting.
Yeah.
So you want to speak accordingly. And then there's also, maybe if we don't speak well, maybe there's also like, okay, can we really trust this?
Right. Yeah. And it's just that it also kind of affects the perception of competence that people have of you, depending on how well you use it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that Finns, they judge your competence based on your proficiency. I'm just saying that with me, I just want to be able to give my best, although I still make mistakes sometimes.
But you said during the lesson, the first 8 years, I think definitely in the language course you did in the first 34 months, and then also in the Finnish course you did whilst you were studying the nursing, there was grammar improvement there, right? And then you said later on you took some more courses specific for the grammar.
Yeah.
When you say later on, around which time period was that?
That was before my master's program. Yeah, I already got a job as the deputy manager. So then I realized that I have to work
On this,
on my grammar.
which year was this roughly?
That was in 2018?
Okay, so this is
No.
this is even after you've reached after you passed like the high D to C level.
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that was a personal, it's not like someone told me.
Yeah.
Because my writing, everything, of course, nowadays writing, everybody can write. You just go to Google Translate or whatever. Things are much more easier nowadays. But yeah, it was a personal thing that felt like, I need to work on my grammar.
Yeah. Correct.
And I had to like do self-study. And even my job, when I got this position, I had to also study Finnish because there was also the demand for bilingualism. So Finnish was not enough. I had to study also Swedish for you to get this position as a nursing manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far did you have to study Swedish?
Well, the Swedish wasn't too demanding because the department where I'm leading is not Swedish speaking. But it's just a formality in Finland. Like if you're holding this kind of position, you have to know. So I had to also.
Okay. Good. Yeah. And then with reading, how do you go the reading?
The reading, well, subtitles, I think, well, I read a lot of emails from work.
Yeah.
A lot. I have 2,000, 3,000 emails. I respond to all of them. So there is this constant, you're learning also from that.
From reading, yeah.
From reading.
Right.
Yeah.
But then in the first 5 years, so
Yeah.
from 05 to 09, how did you?
I learned that from school.
Right.
Yeah, during my nursing program, the reading thing, because we had like reading comprehension. They were giving somebody who is speaking and they will listen how the person is speaking. That also improves along the way. Like, I won't say that I've read Finnish books.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I've never read Finnish book actually.
Okay. Okay.
Like a novel.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did one. I've done that, but okay, yeah. Maybe because I've read once. I was this Michelle Obama.
Oh, you read that in Finnish?
I read that in Finnish. It was just so captivating, or maybe because I had access to the Finnish one. I think that's the only Finnish book I've read.
Okay.
But it's a story that is maybe more, yeah, Michelle Obama. That I read that.
Okay. Fascinating.
Right.
Yeah. And then Michelle Obama's book. And which year was this I did?
Michelle Obama, I think no, it was in the early 2000s. That was about 5 years ago.
Okay, so 2020. Okay, so this is
Yeah,
quite recent.
recent.
Yeah, in the grand scale of things. Okay. And then writing, I think you mentioned on that.
Yeah.
You did that a lot of that work.
Yeah. And then there was these dictionaries also that I was using.
Could you elaborate?
There were books where you have translations that they will be like in English they write it like this and they're Finnish like this.
Yeah.
Those sides. So I was using those kind of books also.
Okay. No, we do at rewriting what it says.
No, I would just be reading it. I
Okay.
was not really like rewriting.
Yeah. That's actually something I try to work where I just take a text that is already correct and then I just force myself to write it just to go to the motions
Yeah.
of what correct text feels like if I deliberately practice correct text. So in these years of you having sort of this, between year 1 to year 8 or year 10, what were the times when you found it most difficult to continue chasing a goal?
That was after my bachelor's level.
Yeah.
I started working as a registered nurse.
Yeah.
And I was in hospital. And I just felt like I'm not able to achieve my goals in this field. I was just looking at my environment and I was just asking myself, like, I don't know, maybe it's Helsinki or maybe I should move to a different city. But I felt like it would be really hard to get a leadership or administrative job in this field. So I just lost motivation to continue, like, not like continue learning the language, but to further my education. So there was a big gap from when I had my bachelor's degree to when I started my master's.
Right.
There was a huge gap there. That was because I was aiming to something, but I felt like I was not getting it. So I started asking myself, like, is it like, am I the problem, or is it like I need to work on something else? I knew that for you to get this managerial position, I need to further my studies. But now I was asking myself, like, but should I go and waste my year studying masters or, doctorates that I might not even get the job?
Yeah.
Because maybe nobody will want to take me as maybe an immigrant. But then I came to realize that maybe it's just a reflection of my own thoughts. This is just not the reality of how things are. Then I started getting feedbacks from work. At that time, I was still a supervisor. And she was telling me that, like, I see you as a really good manager or your style.
Right, like later.
And I was like, really? It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then my mentor, I remember she told me, Amanda, it was like, you have to go back to school. You have a lot of potentials, but this field, there are some certain demands. Like, you have to have some proficiency, like educational background, like they demand masters in this or that, and then doctorate. And then I was like, okay. I think that was when the lights just like, okay. I had this vision, but at one point the vision was slowly dying because I felt like I was trying, but I felt I was not given the opportunity. I remember there was times that I even tried to apply and nobody gave me the job. Yeah. So then I went in. Before I even went in, I got this job as security manager, and that was when the light just like.
Right.
So when now I did my
And around which year was this when you had this kind of motivation going down?
That was like
or roughly when was the masters?
Masters was 2020.
Okay. So between 2009 and then 2020, that motivation just went.
And that was when I did my masters, and then I got this job. And even in the midst of the job, I had this opportunity to work as their assistant, like to do like CIMing, like pavelbalika.
What is that in English? It's when somebody is on some kind of leave, you're in their place.
Yeah.
And for what was it? Is that old?
I don't know how to just do pavelbalika, like
service manager, service head.
But you are kind of responsible now for the nursing managers.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the nursing field has all these different positions. So, I was really motivated there.
But what would you say was the source of losing that motivation? Is it like you feel like because of the language you wouldn't get to go higher? Or
Because I felt like my language is not enough, and I felt like I was being self-critical, critique for my own self. I felt like, okay, somebody of my skin color, they might not, maybe that's the reason why they don't want to take me. Maybe because of my skin color or my background or, but
Right. In that journey, is there any part of it where you felt like, I'm tired, or like, I don't want to keep doing this anymore?
Yeah, you feel discouraged sometimes. And depending on, like me, it was about, okay, where am I going? It was about, I know that I can give more, I can bring more to the table, I can bring more innovations and development. I see a lot of things that I can bring new light, how we can better the life of patients or clients, depending on the settings. But then you start losing motivation when you feel like you're not able to do those things.
Right.
You feel like, okay, so this is it. I'm just going to end up now like a registered nurse, but this is not my vision. Of course, with this also you're helping a lot of people, but this is not my vision. So you start feeling like, I think that's most, at least to me, that was like something that, okay, I want to climb ladder higher. I want to give back more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone who's going through those down moments, what words of encouragement can we give?
Yeah, I'm going to say, don't give up. Keep chasing your goal. Keep learning the language. If you see opportunities, grab them.
Right.
Don't be self-critic like me. Yeah. At one point I was feeling like, oh, my skin color, maybe, nobody ever told me like, because of your skin color. It was just me. I was just reading the environment. Yeah. I was using my own kind of, maybe wrong emotional intelligence, like saying that, because in my time, I was actually one of the first Black woman to have a position as a nursing manager,
right,
in Finland.
Right.
Before then, I think in our community we had one lady who was like an assistant, where she was like, "This job is not for us. Let's just face facts. Right. This position, these people will kill you. Like they will kill you. The pressure is too, like you'll be flat like a pancake, right, because there's pressure up there. There's pressure here from the leadership, from the clients, from the relatives. You are just like being squished in the middle, then plus your skin color. So, and then I was like, those kind of advice you hear from those people are like that. But don't give up.
Right. People's
Experiences are not your experience.
100%.
Yeah. So don't give up and just keep fighting. Believe in that dream, especially if it's a vision that you know deep within you, something that you really believe so much in. You know that this is what you want to do, and it's going to bring a lot of light to the places that you want to go. Don't give up. If you see job opportunities, apply. Even if your language is not enough, don't give up. Just be able to express yourself with the basic one. Even if you get stuck, there are times that I've been stuck when I have a presentation.
Yeah.
In my work, there are times I get stuck in Finnish and I just speak in English. I say that particular word in English. In the board meeting, I say it in English.
Yeah, I have a friend who very confidently, even if it's wrong, he'll just say it wrongly, but you know what he's saying. Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't know it in English, in Finnish, we just say it in English.
Yeah,
it just keeps it going. And I'm like, I aspire to that level of confidence.
It's something that, it will help you also. Don't be too hard on yourself. We shouldn't be too hard on us. So I know, especially us, migrants, people, different language, we moved to this country, we are really, really hard on ourselves. And of course, the system also, because when you go everywhere and you're told, like, Finnish language.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the little one you have, don't be shy to bring it out, because that's what some people, they do. Even with the little that they know, they are shy to speak because they feel like they're not competent enough.
Right. Yeah. And then finally, like our last question, I've kept you for quite a while. How has your life become better now that you live in a country where you speak the language?
A lot more better. I have open doors, so many open doors when I just switched to Finnish language. So many open doors.
Right.
So many in so many different sectors. I can't even say it.
Right.
Yeah.
And for example, at least you mentioned earlier about your kids' education and their activities that you're able to partake. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. But those are all the questions. So guys, Magdalene, Magda, and Mado. Yeah, Mado. Yeah. It's been a pleasure having you here. This has been really and I enjoy that you had some of these stories and your excitement. This has been really great. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this, and I hope your story also inspires other people.
Thank you for having me. It was my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right.